Have I told you how cool and awesome my wife is? My wife, every year for Christmas, she tries to get me something creative or musical. Sometimes she gets me something creative and musical. One year she got me a mandolin. One year I think she got me a ukulele. She got me that band guitar. I did a video on that once. She also once got me a kit guitar, which was an offset Jaguar Jazzmaster that I put together. And she's come through once again. This one comes from my two-legged and my four-legged children, of which I have 3 and 2. So I wanted to make this video about how I put together a kit guitar. So let's get into it. Stick around. Alright, let's get into this little unboxing. Alright, where should we start? How about the neck? Look at that. Yes. And assuming this is all my parts. Bag with all that stuff in there. There's my body. I noticed right away it's got a marking here that says 4, which matches that. Well, they kind of match up, but boy, that's nice wood, isn't it? It's pretty flawless. When I looked at it before, there I just put a dent in it probably. When I looked at it before, it was all pretty good. Nothing I really have to fill or anything. So let me get this box out of the way and we'll spread this stuff out and see what I got in here. So I knew this was mahogany. It's just got that look. I've been using a lot of mahogany, so I get kind of used to the look. And this has graining like maple, but it's way darker than I'm used to seeing maple. And I looked it up and it's Canadian maple. So I don't know what that is, difference of that or something. But here, let's see what we got in this bag. We have a guitar cable and a Allen wrench, assuming for the truss rod adjustment. We have a back plate. Let's see. We got your strap buttons. Got your hardware for the knobs, tuning, bridge, neck, pickups. And you got your truss rod cover there too. It even includes some strings. You got your back plate there, your bridge, kind of a cool looking bridge. And all my electronics down here. I got 2 pickups, and that's all pre-wired. And then something over here. Oh, is that oh, shielding tape. Awesome. That's a lot of it too. Look at that's like, let's see, 7 feet. That's cool. Price of copper. You know? So I got everything kind of laid out here, making sure I got everything. Everything's accounted for. At this point I would want to do a dry fit, and I want to put everything together and make sure everything's fitting nicely, that the neck is straight, that all our tuners fit in there, that our bridge is going to line up with everything going up here. Make sure that the neck pocket is in. I'm not going to install electronics, just things that I would want to do before it was finished. For instance, I want to make sure that my truss rod cover is fitting on there. I don't want to have to be drilling these back out or anything. And I want to make sure that, my tuner holes are all in the right spot. So I'll do that first. I really don't need electronics. I'm not going to be doing that. And I'm not going to be needing a cable. And I'm probably going to need these two bags. I'm not going to need the back plate. I think I'll start by working through the neck here. We'll put this aside. I'm going to put the tuners on here. Judging by how tight it's going in, it's the first time, so this is what I was saying. I wouldn't want to finish on this and then fighting with this screw, because then, I'm scratching like that, Don't want that. Yeah, so I'm going to drill those out a little bit more. Put a little piece of tape on my drill bit so I don't go through. Just hand tight on those. Just wanted to make sure they fit. I of course could have drilled these out better once the finish was on here, but why risk it? I'm old, I'm jittery, and sometimes, I might just drag the drill across the back of my new finish, so I'll just do it there while it's on the guitar before we do any sanding and painting to it. Alright. Let's do our truss rod cover. I don't know if I'll have to do the same thing. Alright, let's bring the body in and we'll see how these two marry up. It is a real tight fit. There's no wiggle room there at all. Just going to use a skewer here to make sure that my holes are lined up. I don't want to be firing a big screw in there for it not to be in the right place. And I can tell, yep, they're going pretty good. It's just looking at the way they had this plate in here, looked ultra cheesy. But realized you got to flip it over. So when you're working on your back plate, make sure you're doing it with the shiny side out, which would be these bevels going in, so that when your screw goes in, it sinks into that bevel. I'm going to put these in by hand with a hand screwdriver. As tempted as you are to just take your screw gun out and fire these in, you don't have the feel. You'll crush your back plate. You'll make everything just too tight. And this case, I am just going to go down until these tighten up. Right there. I'm not going to give any more pressure. Just as soon as they, cross from loosey-goosey town into Tighteville, So that's on there. I really like how there's no pick guard or anything on this. I mean, you shouldn't need a pick guard with a base anyway, right? You're not using a pick. That. Don't do that. Okay, that back together. Sit on there like that. Just kind of set this up here with some long lag bolt screws. I don't want to really pound in the ferrules that hold them yet, because I want to have the body finished. But I just want to kind of see around about where this is sitting when it's on the body. So if you see down by my 19th fret there, get about a 1/4 inch on that side. And about a 1/4 inch on that side. I mean, this isn't exactly right down. It should probably be sitting about there. So yeah, that's going to be pretty even. That neck is, I mean, it looks like whoever company carved this did a very good job on milling to have this neck sit in there. So that's kind of a hot mess. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spots. This is a complete fret. When I'm looking down the side, looking down from the top down this way, I'm seeing that 1, 2, 3, 4 are looking a little high. This one here in particular in the center, and this one completely. So I'm going to take my John Henry here and just give it a couple love taps. Right here, one more little one. And now they're all sitting nice and flat in there. I just checked it, and there's a couple spots that are still a little high. So, but they're all set down. So yeah, I'm going to take it from there. I'm going to start taping up to protect my fretboard, and then I can start leveling these frets a little better. Now, I always tape my fretboards up, whether it's a new guitar or an old guitar. I like to protect the fretboard as much as I can. And wherever I can, I like to use this thick tape, the blue painter's tape, because I can get right at the hardware store, Walmart, Home Depot, wherever. The thinner yellow tapes I got to get in the kit from Amazon, so it's just the easiest place to get them. Alright, I'm all taped off. I am going to use my fret flat edge sander to start taking down off these red marks. I'm going to start on the 400 side and just kind of skate across in a back and forth motion, keeping it flat across the frets, just until my red marks disappear. So after that sanding, I went from 10 spots to 1, 2, 3 spots. So we're going to go over those again just until the red appears. Frets are all nice and flat now. I'm going to use my crowner on the just on the very tops of them. So I've crowned them, and I want to move on to doing a little sanding on them. And this is not much sanding. This is a piece of 220 grit sandpaper, but it's kind of old, so it's more like a 400 or a 600. If you're just starting out with a brand new piece of sandpaper, go with like a 400 to 600, something in there. I just want to take the tool marks of the sander and the crowner off of there. I'm not going to be putting much pressure. Like I said, I just want to take the tool marks off. So it's just really a quick polish. Now I'm going to switch to a piece of 1000 grit sandpaper. And again, I'm not putting any pressure. I'm just kind of rubbing off the red and the tool marks, because that first piece of sandpaper might take it down quick on you. Now I got a piece of heavy steel wool and a piece of light steel wool. I'll start with the heavy and just keep rubbing them. Now you can leave it right there with your light steel wool. They're nice and shiny. I like to go one step further with my Dremel and give them a little polish. Alright, that neck is gone through. I can be confident that when I put my strings on, I'm not going to have any buzzing. I'm going to be able to get the best height of my bridge, the lowest action on my strings that I can possibly get. Of course, you don't have to do any of that. You can skip right to start painting the guitar and moving from there, you know. But you don't even have to do this. You can, you know, do your dry assemble and just take it from there. So let's get the tape off. Now I like the way everything's fitting. I'm going to take all my parts off here, take the neck back off, and we'll be on to our next step. So this is the part of the build where you let your creativity shine. If you're a good painter, you know, pick your favorite color and have at it. If you're not a really good painter, there's other options. You can do something like, you know, a teak oil, and that would bring out all of the grain really nicely on there. It would seal it too. You could stain it, use some white bond poly, or you can just leave it bare wood. I mean, it should be sealed. It probably will get super dirty and uncomfortable to play if you didn't do any kind of sealing. But, you know, there's other options than painting it. I myself, I'm not a good painter. I did some bartering with Super Tim. He's going to do a clear coat on it for me. But I wanted to try to get it into a color, and my original idea was to stain it black. I play bass in a Black Sabbath cover band, and I don't have my own bass. So I thought it would be cool to have a black guitar in the Black Sabbath cover band. But also my guitarist also has a red guitar, like a more of a burgundy 60s color SG. So to match that, or to be, you know, kind of in the ballpark, I found this gel stain, and it's a sparkling gel stain. It's called Unicorn Spit Sparkling Gel Stain Concentrated. So yeah, that's going to be a really dark red sparkly on there, but I'm hoping to still be able to see the wood grain through that. And then once that's all done, have it clear coated. It should be nice and smooth and shiny. So but I don't want to just put it on there, because I've never used this stuff, and I don't know, you know, how that's going to clear, how that's going to show the wood grain through. So I got a couple of pieces of scrap. That's mahogany. It's not exactly the same color. It's been sitting around for a while too. That's maple, and that is white oak, I think there. So I think I might even have a piece of red oak too. I'm going to do just some experimenting with this gel stain on some different woods to see what it looks like, you know, to kind of get the idea what it's going to look like before I start slathering it all over this, you know. So I'm going to do just a little sanding, a little staining on that, and then I'll show you what those look like. Alright, let's see how this gel stain looks on the mahogany and the oak. It's a gel stain concentrate, and it's a red sparkle, and it's unicorn spit. Probably not a great idea to get this on my hands. Yeah, you only live once, right? Let's see what a little dab will do here. Too much. Perfect. Alright, so that's oak. Let's see what it looks like here on the mahogany. That actually looks really good. Yeah, I'm liking that on the mahogany. I think that's going to look really good on that guitar body. Gotta wipe. Let's see what a second coat does to this oak. Because while my mahogany isn't that dark, that's way too much. Definitely way too much there. Oh yeah, and a second coat on that really brings out that red. I like that. So, yeah, I think with age, even if it does come out a little bit white, yeah, I gotta do a little stain on top of that. But, alright, that gives me the idea. That's something anyway. I love how that sparkle sits in there, wow. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but that's the like exact effect I kind of wanted on this guitar body. That's a little bit too bright and pinky for me. Let's see what a third coat does on that though. A bit. it comes across there, but it just kind of keeps making it more magenta. How does it look on the open grain? This is more of an open cut grain down here. Yeah. If I end up going that way, I might have to darken it first before I do the red to get it more closer to a dark there. So I did some tests with the red unicorn spit stain, and this is it on the more darker mahogany, which kind of more matches the wood I have here, and that's kind of really what I was looking for. So this is a little more red. This is on just oak, and it came out more magenta there. So in the pickup cover here, the pickup hole here, I did 3 different kinds of stains. I did a darker one here, lighter one here, and black over here. I'm going to put the stain over top of that and see if that gets a good color. I realize that the wood I have here isn't exactly the same as these two, so see if we can get something to look kind of good in here. Alright, just off of those first 2 coats, I'm really liking the black. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and I'm going to kind of give it a wipe down to get rid of the brush marks. And yeah, I think the black might be the way to go. And it was just a quick coat of black. It was just like I wiped it on and wiped it right off. So it's not going to turn it black, but it'll yeah, it'll just kind of darken it up into a dirty color before I put the sparkly red on. Yeah, I like that. Alright, I think I found my match. Over here I did a dark brown stain. Right here I did a light brown stain, and over here I did black stain. And where the red is over the black stain, it's a really nice burgundy. I don't know if it comes across on camera. It's real bright red over here, not really what I wanted. Bordering on pink, I think. But I wanted more burgundy, so this over here kind of more matches my sample piece. So, I'm going to do some sanding here on this body. Some light sanding by hand, maybe 220. And we'll do some very light black stain. Not put the stain directly on there, but like on a rag, and just kind of wipe it off real quick, just to darken up this wood. And then that burgundy stain, should be able to do a couple coats of that. That should look pretty good. So moving forward, I'm going to do some staining, and we'll see what it looks like. I like to do my own water slide decals, but on this one here, I'm doing a black surface, so I needed to get something silver. And since I don't have white in my printer, I really can't do anything that is trying to cover black or dark colors. So I ordered these from Guitar Decadence out of Glendale, California, and we're going to see how they work. Use a little bit of this decal set. I kind of spaced it out here. I kind of want it like right in here underneath this tuner. Let's start to slide already. And I have one coat of or 2 coats of clear over this, and I gave it a little sanding too. So I'm kind of liking right there. Kind of liking the placement there. I found you just press it to get all the extra water off. And then once all the excess water's kind of off of there, you can kind of dab it down. Wow, these are really nice decals. Mine don't come out this good at home. I usually get a cracking. They'll crack on me, even after I clear them. When I do them at home, what I usually do is I print them out on the printer, let that ink dry, and then give it a quick cover with some rattle can clear. But they'll always kind of split on me, especially if I do them really big. If I do them this size, you can kind of get away with it. You don't really notice. But as it starts drying, you can start kind of pushing down a little harder. Make sure you're working all the air. Boy, I like that. I'm not going to work it anymore. Alright. So yeah, I got 2 clear coats of clear here on the body and the neck. And I'm going for clear number 3 and 4. Might do 5. Not really sure. But we're getting there. So I am not a good painter. Something I struggle with. I'm way too addicted to the rattle can. It's, quick and easy. But doesn't always give you the best finish. My dad was a professional painter. He did some really cool stuff back in the day. My friend Super Tim, he's a professional painter. Does some really nice stuff. In fact, he had offered to clear coat this because I had fixed some PA speaker cabs for him. But I really wanted to do this myself. Really have to figure out how to do it correctly. So a couple years ago, Super Tim and the Amazing Jay got me a nice spray gun. And they got me some of this clear coat by Keystone. This is the activator I have left over. And that was really nice stuff. It dried hard as a rock. And it spread good, but I always felt it was kind of thin, and if you don't have patience, you will get runs, and I always felt like I got runs with that, so it gave me the runs. So I tried this stuff here. This is Duplicolor. It's pre-mixed. Get that at like Advanced or AutoZone or whatever. I almost called it Auto Palace. Remember Auto Palace? But that stuff never dries completely hard. It always feels soft to me, even like a year later. I had space heaters on them. I put them out in the sun. It's just never got the full cure, it seemed. Somebody recommended using clear coat from Tractor Supply because it's supposed to dry really hard. It's a lacquer, and whoever told you that lied, because that does not dry hard at all. So looking around on my own, I wanted to find something that was easy to use, and all the reviews came back to this stuff. Finish One by Acme. I'm not sure if it's a Sherwin-Williams company or not, but this is a 4-to-1 for these to one of those, and this mixed up really well, and this is probably the best stuff I've ever sprayed. It dries in like 5 minutes to the touch almost. It spread really easy. It was almost impossible, you couldn't get a run on it at all, which was great for me. I'm sure a pro painter can do this stuff all day long, all year long, without ever getting a run, but, I'm an amateur. I admit it. So, usually I do really good staining. I'm a good stainer. It's a skill I have. But, working with paints on a gun, clear coating and stuff, isn't really my forte. But I usually do really good with stain, but this time was the opposite. The stain was killing me on this. So, I started out with some black stain, just a very light coat, and then I did a coat of this unicorn spit, and it had a really nice look. It was like a dark black cherry. That's what it reminded me of. And wanted to do another coat. I put another coat on there, and it became kind of like what you're seeing here. It's very like a Dr. Pepper can, that purplish burgundy that they have in their can. And went for a third coat. That looked really good. too. That was reminding me of cherry cola. I don't know why, but I was liking that. And there was a couple spots I just wanted to touch up. I put a fourth coat on and it like turned to gum on me, so it just kind of slewed all off. That sucked. So I let it dry, sanded everything back down. Instead of going with the black first, I went with the unicorn spit first. Got a nice coverage on that. And then a really quick wipe with the black over that, just to darken it up. And then one more coat of this that went on very heavy. And then I wiped off the excess. And I got a really, really good color that I like, a good sparkle. And from there, I clear coated it. I gave it 2 light, very light misty coats, and that's when I put my decal on. And then I did the top of that black. 2 light mist coats, put the decal on, put on 2 more coats, and let that dry off, and then 1 big heavy coat on after to finish it off. And it really came out good. I got a little bit of orange peel on the top here, which I kind of buffed out with sandpaper. I went 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, up to 3,000, and then scratch remover and rubbing compound and wax. So this is where we are now, and I think it's ready to be put back together. I've got some motivation now. I started this thing in early April, I think, and now we're coming up to the end of July. And while I only have maybe 4 man hours total into it, it's been sitting here hanging up, we're ready for me to get to the next step, which I always have trouble. Once I can put it together. When I get to sanding and finishing, I hit a roadblock, But I think this is going to look really good. Gonna clean up here a little bit, and I think I'm gonna start on the neck, put the pieces back on here, and then we'll do the body, put them together. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. Let's start with the tuning keys here. And if you remember, I pre-drilled these out, so I don't have to worry about them going in too tight. I'm going to leave the truss rod cover off in case I have to make any adjustments after I get the strings on. So I got the tuning keys on the headstock. I'll try to put some of the shielding in there. I had a commenter tell me that I didn't do a very nice job on my copper tape. They were concerned with all my wrinkles, but I can see that reflects on your work. But I'm always kind of the idea that nobody's going to see this down in here. It has a job to do, and if it does its job, then who cares? But I will try to do a little neater job here on this one. Alright, how's that look? Complete coverage. All the holes figured out there. Alright, while I have this stuff out, I think I'm going to do one on the back plate as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that shit without wrinkles. That's what it's going to be. Wrinkly, wrinkly, wrinkly. I might have way too much clear coat on there, so this is going to probably have to be sanded a little bit on the edge to fit on there. Do that later though. And I'm left with about 3 feet of copper tape. Nice. They put tapered screws. They give you tapered screws to put the jack in, but the jack itself doesn't have little bevels, so they don't exactly sit there. They kind of ride up higher. I don't like that. So I'm going to see if I can find some round top screws to fix that up, because that's not cool. Before I put those in permanently, I'm going to see if I can find a diagram, schematic or something before I tighten these down and put those in. Yeah, I had those all backwards. Of course the tone has the little resistor on it. I'm going to fish the yellow one in up here. These are going to be tough. Huh? Wow. That was tough. Let's strip back our ground a little bit here. Alright, let's test this out. Hopefully this all still works. Hopefully this all still works. That's not good. Measuring 6. Just make sure I'm not touching myself here. So there is something out of that. There's one of these messed up. Oh, there we go. Lost my positive. That'll do it. What's your problem now? Oh, we're not plugged in. Helps if you plug into the amp, right? Nice. Alright, let's get the neck on. Remember, this was super tight to get in there when I fitted it. I did some extra sanding on here and some extra sanding around the inside. So I'm going to hope it fits. And oh, just a perfect nice fit. Sand off one side of this a little bit smoother so that it fits down in here. Go like that. Watch the tape come off. I've had the same strap since high school. Black leather, nice and broken in. It's all set for my height. So I'm going to use some strap lock buttons here because I have those on all my guitars. And I can put aside the ones that came with it for another project. Boy, the paint looks really good from that angle. You can really kind of see the true color of it. It's shifting. It shifts from one color to another in the different lights. About 10 years ago, I went through all of the guitars in the jam room and put these on all of them because we have strap locks on all of our straps, so they're interchangeable. If you're looking for these and you have like the Shaler locks, the ones that, you know, you pull the button out and it slides off, a little cup grabs it there. If you have those kind, you can also get the Fender. I want to say it was mid-90s Fender Americans or something like that they were putting them on. Don't quote me, but there are Fenders that these strap locks were on. And that's why we each had, you know, the locks on our straps themselves, but just bought a crap ton of buttons, put them on all the guitars. That's looking pretty good. Almost doesn't even like fit in my whole frame here. I'm into the home stretch here. Put this bridge on, start stringing it up. Looks like it just slides on here. What a weird bridge. Where does this design even come from? There we go. Nice. Now, this came with strings, but they look okay too. But if you ever watch me do basses, you know I love the DRs, the coated strings, Black Beauties in particular. I got lights here too. I figure this guitar is going to be heavy enough. It looks like it just hooks under there. So I always like to go about 1 3/4 past. These things are getting really dull. So I started playing guitar in 1986. Might have been 12. I never had a bass until about 1995. I had gotten a Tascam recorder, 4-track, and I was working that a lot. And for doing bass lines at the time, I would turn the tone down on my guitar, turn the amp to a clean channel, and turn the tone down on the amp, and that was my bass for my recordings. So I actually saw at a music store I went into, they had a bass on sale. It was a Squier J bass for, I want to say it was, I was on a budget back then, mid 90s, so I want to say it might have been on sale for $100. So I got that. I used it for a while. The guy I started recording with, we went to an 8-track, and then we went to digital. And he had a couple good. He had a really good, one good bass and one other bass. So we really didn't. I didn't need that one. And I think I remember I needed the money, so I sold it off. And that was all right. I mean, it was a Squier. Wasn't worth much. The second bass I got, actually, everything comes up Squier all the time for me. Second bass I got was also a black Squier. I think that one was a P bass, though. I think the first one was a J bass. The second one was a P bass. And that one came from a storage unit. And put that together. I had it here for a while. Never really played it. And my friend was building a little jam room, and he needed a bass, so I brought it over and donated it to his cause. And then not too long after that, I found myself playing bass in a Black Sabbath cover band. So place I go, they have it's got a bass, so I just picked that up. And I find it fun, actually. I very rarely play guitar much anymore. So I've taken to the bass, and my wife knew I didn't have a bass. Thought this would be a fun project for me, and I'd have a bass too. So yeah, I can't wait to play this at the next Black Sabbath jam. Sounds like it's going to be thick already. I like to go really low on my bass tone. I'm no Geezer Butler at all, but our lead guitar player is so good that, the drummer and I can just ride underneath him and let him carry all the load. So I like to be just underneath him, so if you didn't see me up there, it would almost sound like I was part of his sound, I like his sound to ride on top, if you know what I mean. Alright, that's tuned up. No intonation yet, but under tension, the neck does come up a little bit. Action is super high down here. I'm going to do a couple tweaks here, see what we end up with. Just going to do a measurement here to see what my changes are. I like millimeters. Let's see. At the 12th, I'm at about 3 1/4. So let's see what we can do with that. Might have to shim the neck. Alright, that brought it down to 2.5. Getting a little better. That's about as tight as I dare go on that truss rod. And that brought it down to about 2. That's pretty flat. That's not really that bad. Yeah, I'm going to shim the neck up. Let's see what I can come up with. The thing about the craftsmanship on this guitar, this neck pocket is so perfect with this neck. You saw how tight it was when I was putting it together in the beginning. Just perfect side to side. I have no wiggle room to adjust it anyway, but I mean, it's got a perfect spacing here. I love that. And I also like how the strings are pretty much going straight out on the headstock, you know. They're not pulling down at a stupid angle. Let me tune it up again. I think I'm going to have to raise this bridge, because I've definitely brought my strings down. My neck's still in a good spot there. Could do kind of a minuscule adjustment here, I think, with this center one. Well, let me tune it up, put some tension here on the neck. I gotta learn where my hole is. There it is. I want a little more relief. Check my string action here. It's about 2.5. And now I think I can bring this back down a little bit. Alright, I kind of like that. I'm going to start there. That sounds pretty good there. Another thing I wanted to do before I got plugging this thing in again, you know, they gave me this my input jack here. They gave you tapered screws, but there's no taper on the jack itself. It's flat. So I wanted to trade that off with some round head screws so they're not kind of protruding, you know. Knobs. It came with 3 chrome knobs. I got 2 volumes and a tone, and I got this gunmetal one here. So I'm going to use the gunmetal on the tone, and then the other 2 will get the chrome. I'll put that other chrome one away for another day. Sweet. I like that. Alright, what else is next? Truss rod cover. Wanted to show you what I got here for an upcoming video. It's a giant Epiphone case, and it contains, ta-da, my first guitar. I can't wait to go through this one. I haven't played it in a couple years. It's been sitting in here. Strings are still nice and smooth though. But yeah, I want to tell you the story on this and go through it, and that should be fun. The reason I brought this home was to see if this bass will fit in there. It fits perfectly. Like, not too tight, not too loose. Man, this thing is like Goldilocks, I swear to God. Or the Little Bear, right? The Little Bear had all the perfect stuff. Awesome. On to a demo. Well, that was fun. I always enjoy doing a kit guitar. I want to thank my wife and my kids for giving this one to me. Kept me out of trouble. This finish here, really happy with that. It's not 100%, but it's a step in the right direction of where I want to be with doing finishes. This one's acceptable, and I think it'll last for years and years to come. The electronics, I really liked how you can plug them in. That would be really good for somebody who really doesn't know how to solder and wants to put together a kit guitar. That was really easy. I didn't hold out much hope for these pickups. I was told that these sound really good if you use a pick, but not so much if you use your fingers, and I use my fingers. And I didn't find that at all. I found them very warm, very wide, so I liked that. The construction of the thing itself was really nice. The way this neck pocket fit, if this isn't right here, it's not going to be right here, it's not going to be right here. It's going to be really uncomfortable to play. So this is kind of your foundation, and that's where the magic happens. And if your foundation isn't right here, I don't think you're going to make much magic, But it needs to learn how to be a guitar. It was a piece of wood a couple months ago, and now I'm expecting it to make musical notes. I always say that with these guitars that were just built or brand new, it kind of needs to learn how to be a guitar. So it's very heavy too. It's about 9 pounds, and it's awkward. The neck wants to dive down on you. I don't know if changing my strap button position would help that. I might try it. But yeah, I use a strap that is a single ply leather, and I had to go find a padded strap off somebody else's guitar to be able to get it through a couple songs with it. And it's so long I couldn't reach the last tuner to tune it up. So I think this guitar would be great for somebody who's like 6'7", giant hands, because this neck, it feels like a 5-string. It's really wide. I'm 6'1" on a good day, and this thing was putting me to the test. I was exhausted. So, yeah, everything about it, I really liked. This bridge is unique, but I think you'll get used to it. Actually looks really good on there, I think. The one thing I didn't like here about the jack plate was they gave you those beveled screws, which, would catch in your fingernails because there's no bevel on the plate. So I got the round head screws, and what's that, 20 cents at the hardware store. So that's not bad. So if that's the only bad part, aside from it being so heavy and awkward, I'll take it. The good news is the amazing Jay and I are going to be doing some recording soon, and I think this would be a good contender for the bass lines. With the tone and the sound that it has, I think that would track really well. So I want to thank you for joining me. Give me a thumbs up for filming it for you, and we'll talk again soon.